Have you ever been so exhausted that even being around people felt like too much? Not just physically tired, but emotionally, relationally, soul-deep worn out. The chase isn't just a pursuit across the sky. It's what happens when the cracks begin to show, when connection frays, and when the real breakdown isn't about tiredness at all. It begins playfully, a bit of Appa's fur, some springtime teasing, and a few harmless jokes shared between friends. On the surface, everything feels normal, but beneath the laughter, something heavier is brewing. Something none of them will admit. They're all tired. And not just from lack of sleep, from the endless chase, from the unspoken burdens they're each carrying alone. And maybe you know that feeling too, when everything looks fine on the outside, but inside, you're running on fumes. Toph, new to the group, plants her feet in the earth and says what she always says, "I carry my own weight." But there's more hiding beneath her bravado, a child desperate to prove her independence, even at the cost of connection. And stuffing Appa fur in your armpits to make a point? Honestly, that's commitment to the bit. And isn't that something so many of us do? We mistake self-reliance for strength. We push people away before they get the chance to disappoint us. We'd rather be alone than be seen needing help. Because what if they see the mess? What if they walk away? It's safer, sometimes, to build a wall than to risk being let down. Because somewhere along the line, someone told us that asking for support makes us weak. But it doesn't. It makes us human. Toph builds her own tent, gathers her own food, and tries to stay out of everyone's way. But Katara, mothering, meticulous, emotionally attuned, can't let it go. She believes in shared effort, in communal rhythm. To her, working together is love made visible. So when Toph shrugs it all off with indifference, Katara doesn't just see laziness, she sees rejection. Their fight isn't really about chores, it's about values, about love languages that clash. Toph shows care through self-sufficiency. Katara shows it through togetherness. Both are trying to belong. Both are trying to be seen. And both are failing to see each other. Have you ever been there, standing just a few feet from someone and feeling like they're 1,000 miles away? Maybe it's with a partner, a parent, a friend. You're both speaking, but not really hearing. You're both hurting, but trying not to show it. The lesson for adults here isn't about teamwork. It's about emotional fatigue. About how easily our deeper needs, to be respected, to be valued, to not be abandoned, get buried under petty conflict. As the chase continues, the group grows more ragged. The landscape changes, but the pressure doesn't. Something is always coming. There's no time to slow down. And without rest, even kindness becomes rare. Eventually, the masks crack. And the truth is, we can only pretend for so long. Sooner or later, the cracks start to show. Aang, always the optimist, lashes out. He defends Appa, his oldest friend, his literal lifeline, and turns his pain on Toph. He never had a problem flying when it was just the three of us. You're the problem, Toph. Subtle, Aang. Real subtle. It's a low blow, and he knows it. And that's another truth the episode whispers. When we're tired enough, even good people become cruel. We snap at the ones who love us. We assign blame. We say the things we know will hurt. Not because we want to, but because our emotional tanks are empty. And in that state, the only thing we know how to do is protect ourselves. But pain doesn't stay contained. It ripples. Toph, wounded and furious, leaves. This is the turning point. Not the arrival of Azula. Not the showdown in Tudzin. But this quiet moment of separation. When the group's fragile unity breaks under the weight of unspoken pain. And here, the episode reveals its hidden message. You can't outrun what you refuse to face. Not the tank, not the enemy, not your own broken heart. Each of them copes in a different way. Toph pulls away. Katara tries to hold everything together. Aang swallows his guilt. And Sokka, well, Sokka cracks jokes like everything's fine, though he's clearly one sleepless hour away from picking a fight with a tree. But beneath it all, they're unraveling, not because they're weak, but because they're human. And they've forgotten the one truth no one outruns forever. You can't get through the hard parts alone. And just when it seems the episode might spiral into full collapse, something unexpected happens. Toph meets Iroh, A quiet conversation, a gentle cup of tea, and more healing than any battle ever could bring. It's a subtle scene, but maybe the most important one. Because it's here that the real adult lesson is spoken aloud. There is nothing wrong with letting the people who love you help you. Not because you're incapable, but because you're not supposed to carry it all yourself. Toph, who has fought her whole life to prove her strength, finally hears the one thing she needed. Not "you're strong," but "you're allowed to rest." And Iroh, as always, reminds us of the emotional wisdom we often forget in our rush to be right, to be tough, to be enough. Later, when Toph returns to help the group in their final fight, it's not out of obligation. It's out of choice. She comes back because she wants to, because she's remembered that asking for help and offering it are two sides of the same kind of courage. Meanwhile, Aang confronts Azula alone, not to win, but to stop running. He knows he's outmatched, he's not ready, but he stands anyway. Not because he expects to triumph, but because he finally understands. The chase won't stop just because he's tired. And maybe that's the most grown-up thing he's done yet. To admit when you're tired, to face something you can't control, to let others step in when you falter. In the final battle, it's not Aang's strength, or Katara's bending, or even Sokka's planning that saves the day. It's togetherness. Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph. Even Zuko and Iroh, for a moment, are part of something larger than themselves. And still, Azula finds a way to break it. With one cold move, she strikes Iroh, not for power, but for pain. Because when people come together, when they form real bonds, they become dangerous to those who rely on division. The adult lesson here isn't just about teamwork. It's about how easily we hurt the ones who hold us together, and how sacred that support really is. In the aftermath, as Iroh lies wounded and Zuko screams for Team Avatar to leave, we're reminded. Reconciliation is fragile. Trust takes time, and sometimes grief is louder than gratitude. But the seed has been planted. Toph came back, Katara and Aang apologized. No grand speeches, just small acts of showing up again. And that's often what healing really looks like. The team, battered and bruised, remembered what it means to carry each other when no one can stand alone. And that's what the chase really means. It's about the cost of running too long. When exhaustion wears down our grace. When independence becomes isolation. When love asks for more than we think we have left, and we offer it anyway. But it also shows the way forward, through tea and tenderness, through apologies and accountability. That healing was never meant to be a solo act. The chase isn't just about running. It's about what happens when we're too tired to hold ourselves. And forget we don't have to. Maybe you've felt that too. That moment when exhaustion turns into something sharper, it asks, who's been carrying your weight? And have you let them? It reminds us, real strength isn't pushing people away. It's knowing when to reach for them. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed, or like you had to do it all alone, maybe this story is for you. Because the bravest thing isn't always standing tall. Sometimes, it's letting someone catch you when you fall. Who do you turn to when you're carrying too much? And what helps you finally let go? Because even the strongest people stumble when they carry everything alone. So if this hit close to home, subscribe and walk this road with us. No pressure, no perfection, just people figuring it out together. And hey, maybe check in with your feelings before you're sleep deprived and airborne. Just a thought.